The storm is already here. The world you knew yesterday will not be the same tomorrow. I've seen it happen before. People thought their jobs were safe. They believed their skills would carry them for life. But change has no sympathy, and it does not wait for anyone. The storm isn't a thing in the distance that you can prepare for when you're ready. It's already here. You may not see the full force yet, but the winds are blowing, and they are getting stronger every single day. Look around you. Technology is rewriting the rules. Businesses that were giants only a few years ago have already disappeared. Skills that took decades to master are being replaced in months. Entire industries are transforming overnight. The way people work, the way they learn, the way they communicate, everything is shifting. And in the middle of this transformation, there are two kinds of people. Those who stand still and hope the storm will pass, and those who prepare to navigate it. The dangerous thing about this storm is not just that it is powerful, it's that it is invisible until it's too late. When a storm is far away, you can see it coming. But this one lives in algorithms, in automation, in new business models, in the way people consume and expect instant results. It's not crashing into your door in one big wave. It's slowly reshaping the ground beneath your feet. I've met people who say, I'll adapt when the change comes. But by the time you see the full impact, you're already behind. You can't wait until the storm is above your head to start building a roof. Preparation is not something you do in the middle of chaos. It's something you do before it arrives. And here's the truth that most people don't want to hear. The storm will not treat everyone equally. It will destroy those who rely only on what they knew yesterday. It will drown those who refuse to learn new ways. But for some people, this same storm will be an opportunity. Why? Because they will use the wind to push their sails forward instead of letting it break their ship apart. In the next 10 years, millions of jobs will disappear, but millions of new ones will be created. The question is, which side will you be on? Will you be one of those who are replaced, or one of those who are ready for the new opportunities? The answer doesn't depend on luck. It depends on what you are doing right now. Don't tell yourself, I have time. You don't. The changes you think will happen in 5 years are already happening today. The future is not something that suddenly appears one morning. It is something that grows every second. Every day you hesitate is a day the storm grows stronger and you grow weaker. I want you to think about something. When the telephone was invented, people resisted it. There's a Chinese saying, when the winds of change blow, some build walls, others build windmills. Right now, people are building walls because they're afraid. But walls cannot stop this storm. The only way to survive and grow is to build your windmill. Think about your own life. Learn skills that machines cannot replace. Technology is moving faster than ever in human history. Every year, we see breakthroughs that once belonged only in science fiction. Self-driving cars are already on the streets. Artificial intelligence can write reports, design graphics, diagnose diseases, and even compose music. Machines are getting smarter, cheaper, and more capable every single day. But here's the truth. No matter how advanced they become, there are certain things they cannot do. And if you want to future-proof your career, you must focus on those things. You see, machines are built to think logically. They can analyze billions of pieces of data in seconds, but they cannot feel joy, pain, or empathy. They cannot dream. They cannot understand the subtlety of human relationships. They do not have intuition, imagination, or moral judgment. And in the years ahead, the greatest value you can bring to the table will not be your ability to perform repetitive tasks. That's what machines will do better than you. It will be your ability to do what they cannot. Let's be clear. If your job is entirely predictable, you're at risk. If what you do every day can be broken down into steps that a computer can learn, that job will eventually be automated. This doesn't just apply to factory workers. It applies to accountants, drivers, translators, even some doctors and lawyers. In the past, we thought automation would only replace low-skilled jobs. Today, it is replacing high-skilled jobs too. The only safe space is in the skills that are deeply human. So what are these skills? The first is creativity. A machine can follow patterns, but it cannot create something truly original from nothing. It can remix existing ideas, but it cannot imagine a world that doesn't exist yet. Creativity is what gives birth to innovation, new businesses, and solutions to problems no one has solved before. If you can think differently, if you can connect unrelated ideas into something valuable, you will always be ahead. The second is emotional intelligence, the ability to understand, connect with, and inspire other people. Business at its heart is not just about numbers, it's about people. Machines can't lead a team through crisis with empathy. They can't motivate a person who has lost hope. They can't look into someone's eyes and see the pain they're not expressing. In the future, leaders will not be those who can control systems. They will be those who can connect with hearts. The third set is critical thinking. We live in a time of information overload. The internet has given us more knowledge than ever before, but also more misinformation. Machines can give you data, but they cannot decide what is true, what is important, and what should be acted upon. Humans with strong judgment, those who can analyze situations, ask the right questions, and make wise decisions, will always be valuable. The fourth is adaptability in problem solving. Machines are excellent when the rules are clear, but when the rules suddenly change, when something unpredictable happens, they don't know what to do. Humans can handle uncertainty. We can look at problems we've never seen before and figure out a way forward. This is why, in times of crisis, companies turn to humans, not machines. The fifth is leadership. You can program a machine to assign tasks, but you can't program it to inspire loyalty, trust, and commitment. Real leadership is about vision. It's about painting a picture of the future so vivid that people want to follow you into it. This kind of influence comes from authenticity, experience, and the ability to speak to people's deepest motivations. Now some people say, but AI is learning creativity. AI is learning empathy. That's true. It can simulate them. It can write a poem or compose music because it has studied millions of examples. It can write a sympathetic message because it has analyzed thousands of similar sentences. But this is imitation, not understanding. It is pattern recognition, not inspiration. True creativity is not copying, it's inventing. True empathy is not a programmed response. It's a shared feeling born from human experience. Machines will get better at mimicking, but they will lack our emotions, our fears, or dreams. This is why your mission is simple. Double down on your human advantage. Ask yourself, am I spending my time on tasks that could be automated, or am I investing in skills that will always matter? If you are doing work that is predictable, start shifting your focus. Learn to communicate better. Train your imagination. Practice making decisions with incomplete information. Get comfortable with ambiguity, connect ideas in new ways. And here's something important. These skills cannot be learned only in classrooms. Creativity grows when you expose yourself to different experiences. Emotional intelligence develops when you listen deeply to others. Leadership is built when you take responsibility for something that matters. You cannot download these qualities, you must live them. Think about the people you admire most. They are not remembered for how fast they typed, how well they filled out a spreadsheet, or how quickly they followed instructions. They are remembered for their vision, their courage, their ability to see things others didn't, and their power to inspire change. In the future, companies will not just hire you for what you know. They will hire you for how you think, how you feel, and how you can make others feel. They will look for the spark that cannot be coded into a machine. And if you build that spark inside you, no storm can take it away. Remember this, machines are not your enemy. They are tools. But tools in the wrong hands are dangerous, and tools in unskilled hands are useless. Your job is to master the skills that make you irreplaceable. Let the machines do what they do best, and you focus on what only humans can do. This is how you make yourself future-proof. The future will not belong to the most efficient worker. It will belong to the most human worker. And the sooner you start strengthening your human skills, the more prepared you will be when the storm gets stronger. Become a lifelong student. The diploma you earned years ago was once your golden ticket. It opened doors, got you a job, and made you feel secure. But today, that same piece of paper is just a starting point. In the past, education was a phase of life. You studied for a few years, graduated, and then spent the rest of your career using what you learned. That world is gone. Today, education is not a phase. It is a lifelong process. And if you stop learning, you don't just slow down, you start falling behind. Every skill you have today has an expiration date. It may not expire tomorrow, but it will expire. Technology changes. Markets change. Industries change. And when the world shifts, the knowledge that made you valuable yesterday may be useless tomorrow. That is why the most successful people are not just the ones with the best degrees. They are the ones who never stop learning. Think about the devices we use. 10 years ago, the phone in your pocket was impossible to imagine. Today, it is outdated in 2 years. The same is true for skills. If you learned computer programming in the 1990s and never updated your knowledge, your skills are now irrelevant. If you learned marketing before social media existed and never adapted, you're invisible in today's marketplace. The future doesn't reward those who learn once. It rewards those who learn continuously. The world moves too fast for you to rely on what you already know. You must be a student for life. That means reading more, taking online courses, learning from mentors, attending workshops, experimenting with new tools. And most importantly, it means being humble enough to admit that you don't know everything. Pride is the enemy of growth. The moment you think you've learned enough, you've stopped evolving, and the world will move past you. The speed of learning will be the new measure of success. In the past, companies hired people for their experience. In the future, they will hire people for their ability to adapt and grow. If you can learn new skills faster than others, you will be the one who survives when industries shift. But here's the challenge. Many people stop learning after they leave school because learning feels uncomfortable. It means admitting you don't know something. It means starting from zero again. But that discomfort is your greatest advantage. Every time you feel uncomfortable because you're learning something new, you are growing stronger. I've seen people who refuse to adapt because they've been doing the same thing for 20 years. They say, I've always done it this way. But the problem is, the world doesn't care how you've always done it. The customer doesn't care. Technology doesn't care. The market doesn't care. If you're not willing to change, you'll be replaced by someone who is. Becoming a lifelong student also means learning from everywhere, not just formal education. You can learn from books, podcasts, conversations, failures, and even from people younger than you. In fact, the younger generation often sees opportunities that the older generation misses. Don't let your ego block you from learning just because the teacher is younger than the student. Another truth, learning today is easier than ever before. In the past, you had to go to a library, pay for expensive courses, or wait for someone to teach you. Today, you can learn almost anything online for free, or at a very low cost. The only thing stopping you from learning is your own willingness to invest the time. Ask yourself, how much time did you spend last week learning something new? Not just doing your job, but actually upgrading your skills? If your answer is a none, then you are standing still while the world is moving. And when you stand still in a moving world, you are actually going backwards. Being a lifelong student also means unlearning. Sometimes the biggest barrier to growth is not the lack of new knowledge, but the presence of old habits and beliefs that no longer serve you. Be willing to let go of outdated methods. Be willing to admit that something you believed for years might be wrong. This kind of flexibility will make you unstoppable. Here's the mindset shift you must make. Stop thinking of education as something you finish. Instead, think of it as something you are maintaining. Just like your health, if you stop exercising, your body gets weaker. If you stop learning, your mind gets weaker. Learning is not a one-time event. It's a daily habit. So make learning part of your lifestyle. Read at least a few pages every day. Watch educational videos instead of endless entertainment. Practice skills that challenge your mind. Surround yourself with people who inspire you to grow. Choose curiosity over comfort. The more you learn, the more you realize how much there is left to learn, and that humility will keep you sharp. The world is moving at the speed of light. If you want to future-proof your career, you must move with it. And the only way to do that is to stay a student for life. The moment you stop learning is the moment you start becoming replaceable. Don't let that happen. Build a network before you need it. Opportunities rarely come to those who wait alone. They come to those who are connected. In this fast-changing world, skills are important, but relationships are the bridges that lead you to the right doors. You might be talented, hardworking, and knowledgeable, but if no one knows you, your opportunities will be limited. Your network is not just a list of names. It is your safety net, your growth engine, and your ticket to staying relevant in the future. Too many people make the mistake of waiting until they need help before they start building relationships. They look for a job only after they've lost theirs. They reach out to old friends only when they need a favor. But relationships built out of desperation are weak. The strongest networks are built when you don't need anything, when you genuinely care about helping others, learning from them, and growing together. The future will reward those who invest in human connections long before they need them. Because when change comes, and it will, your skills alone may not be enough. You will need people who can open doors for you, share knowledge with you, and guide you through unfamiliar territory. In times of uncertainty, it is not your resume that saves you. It is the people who believe in you. Building a network is not about collecting business cards or adding random people on social media. It is about creating real relationships. It is about listening, understanding, and finding ways to add value to others without expecting anything in return. When you give first, people remember you. When you show up consistently, they trust you. And trust is the currency of opportunity. In the digital era, your network is global. You no longer have to live in the same city or even the same country to build strong connections, but you must be intentional. Don't just connect with people in your comfort zone. Reach out to those in different industries, different age groups, and different cultures. Every person you meet sees the world from a different angle, and those perspectives will help you adapt to change faster. Think about this. Some of the biggest opportunities in life come from casual conversations, not formal meetings. A simple exchange at a conference, a message on a professional network, a collaboration on a small project, these moments can lead to life-changing partnerships. But if you are invisible, you will never be part of those conversations. To build a strong network, you must also be willing to contribute. Share your knowledge freely. Introduce people who could help each other, support others' ideas. When you are generous with your connections, your influence grows. And when people see that you genuinely care, they will remember you when the right opportunity comes. Networking is not about taking, it's about planting seeds. You may not see results immediately. But over time, those seeds grow into relationships that can support you in ways you never expected. I have seen people land jobs, secure investments, and launch new ventures. Not because they applied through the traditional process, but because someone in their network vouched for them. And here's the truth. Your network is also your personal learning environment. Every person you connect with has experiences you don't have. Every conversation is a chance to learn something new. Sometimes one piece of advice from the right person can save you years of mistakes. But you must protect your network. Don't only reach out when you need something. Stay in touch. Celebrate others' success. Offer help without waiting for them to ask. Be the person people want to hear from, not the person they dread seeing because it means you're asking for something again. In a rapidly changing world, having the right skills is essential. But having the right people around you can make the difference between surviving and thriving. And remember, the best time to build your network is when you don't need it. Because when the storm comes, you will already have people ready to help you navigate it. So, start today. Make connections. Strengthen relationships. Give before you expect to receive. In the future, your network will be one of your greatest sources of opportunity, resilience, and success. Adapt faster than the world changes. Most people fail, not because change comes too quickly, but because they resist it for too long. The truth is, the world has never moved this fast, and it will never move this slowly again. The speed of change will only increase from here. Technology, markets, industries, even entire cultures are shifting before our eyes. The people who survive are not the strongest or the smartest. They are the ones who can adapt the fastest. Adaptation is no longer a nice skill to have. It is the foundation of survival. In the past, you could master one skill, one career path, and rely on it for decades. Today, that is impossible. Entire industries can transform in a year. A new technology can make your job irrelevant overnight. The business model today could be obsolete tomorrow. And yet, even when people see these signs, they cling to the old way of doing things because it feels safe. But safety in a changing world is an illusion. If you are not willing to change, you are already in danger. If you wait until everyone else has adapted, you are already behind. The future belongs to the ones who can see change coming and adjust before it forces them to. The first step to adapting quickly is changing your mindset about change itself. Most people see change as a threat. They see it as a loss of stability, a disruption to what they know. But the most adaptable people see change as an opportunity, chance to grow, to explore, to create something new. If you can learn to welcome change instead of fear it, you have already taken the hardest step. The second step is to stay curious. Adaptation comes from curiosity. If you're constantly asking questions, what is new? How does it work? How could I use this? You will naturally find yourself ahead of the curve. Curiosity pushes you to experiment, to test new tools, to explore different methods. And the more you experiment, the easier it becomes to shift when the world shifts. The third step is speed. Adapting is not just about knowing what to do. It's about acting before it's too late. The world rewards those who move quickly. This doesn't mean rushing blindly into every new thing. It means making decisions faster, testing ideas faster, and learning from results faster than others. The faster you act, the more time you approach while others are still deciding whether to take the first step. The fourth step is flexibility. Adaptation is not just about trying new things. It's about letting go of old things that no longer work. Too many people cling to outdated habits, tools, and systems because they are familiar. But if you want to adapt, you must be willing to replace comfort with progress. Sometimes that means abandoning a method you've used for years. Sometimes it means reinventing yourself completely. And here's the truth. Adaptability is a skill you can practice. You can train yourself to adapt faster by intentionally putting yourself in new situations. Learn a skill outside your field. Travel to places you've never been. Work with people who think differently from you. Each time you step into the unfamiliar, you build the muscle that will help you adapt when change comes unexpectedly. Technology will continue to disrupt industries. New competitors will appear from places you never expected. The rules you follow today may not apply tomorrow. And when that happens, the people who adapt first will always have the advantage. They will take the opportunities while others are still recovering from the shock. Look at history. Every major shift created winners and losers. When the internet emerged, companies that embraced it early became global giants. Those that ignored it disappeared. The same thing is happening now with artificial intelligence, renewable energy, digital currencies, and countless other innovations. The question is, will you be the one adapting or the one getting left behind? Remember this, you cannot stop change, you cannot slow it down. The only thing you control is how quickly you respond. The faster you adapt, the more likely you are to turn change into opportunity. The slower you adapt, the more likely you are to become irrelevant. The world will not wait for you. The future will not slow down so you can catch up. You must move with it, or faster. This is how you not only survive but thrive in the age of constant change. 5. Develop adaptability as a superpower. Let me tell you something that most people underestimate. The ability to adapt is not just a skill, it's a survival mechanism. The world you're walking into is moving faster than any period in history. Technology, market demands, even cultural norms, they change overnight. A job that's secure today might be obsolete tomorrow. A business model that's booming right now may be irrelevant in just a few years. If you want to future-proof your career, adaptability has to be in your DNA. When I say adaptability, I don't mean just accepting change. I mean thriving it. I mean having the ability to pivot when things don't go your way, to learn new skills quickly when the world demands them, and to stay calm when everyone else is panicking. This is the difference between people who survive and people who lead during times of disruption. Think about history for a moment. Every great leader, every successful company, every groundbreaking innovator, at their core, were masters of adaptability. They didn't just stick to what they knew, they embraced what they didn't know. They moved toward uncertainty instead of running away from it. They saw change not as a threat, but as a challenge, a chance to grow. But here's the problem. Most people resist change. It makes them uncomfortable. They cling to the familiar, even if the familiar is holding them back. This mindset is dangerous because it leaves you vulnerable to being replaced by someone who is willing to evolve. In a world where automation, AI, and global competition are rewriting the rules, you can't afford to be rigid. If you want to win, you must be flexible without losing your core values. So how do you build adaptability into your career? First, you have to accept that nothing is permanent. Your job, your skills, even your industry. It can all change. This isn't something to fear, it's something to prepare for. The moment you believe you've arrived is the moment you start falling behind. Stay a student, even when you're the teacher. Always look for what you don't know yet. Second, develop the habit of learning new skills. Not just in your current field, outside of it. If you're a marketer, learn about coding or data analytics. You're an engineer, learn about leadership or communication. This cross-training makes you more valuable because you become a bridge between different disciplines. When companies are restructuring, they keep the people who can wear multiple hats. Third, learn to detach your identity from your job title. Too many people define themselves by what's written on their business card. That's dangerous, because the moment that title disappears, they lose their sense of self-worth. Instead, define yourself by your capabilities, your values, and your ability to learn. Do you see yourself as a problem solver? You'll always have a place in any organization, regardless of your type. Fourth, when changes happen in your company or your industry, be the first to lean in. Not the last to complain. If a new software is introduced, learn it before anyone else. If the company shifts its strategy, volunteer to be part of the transition. This not only makes you indispensable, but also sends a powerful message. You are someone who moves forward with change instead of resisting it. Finally, adaptability requires emotional stability. Change is stressful, and stress makes people act irrationally. You need to develop mental toughness so that you can make smart decisions even when you're under pressure. Practice gratitude to stay grounded. Surround yourself with positive influences and never let short-term fear make you abandon long-term thinking. In the future, adaptability will be the currency of success. The people who adapt will not only survive but thrive, while those who resist will fade into irrelevance. The world doesn't slow down for anyone. It's your job to keep pace. So don't just react to change. Anticipate it, embrace it, and make it your advantage. That's how you turn uncertainty into opportunity, and that's how you future-proof your career. I can move on to 6 in the same style if you want. Building your legacy in a changing world, listen to me carefully. Careers will come and go. Jobs will appear and disappear. Technology will keep evolving. Industries will keep transforming. But your name, your value, your contribution, that can last far beyond any job title if you build it the right way. The question is, Will you be remembered as someone who simply worked for a paycheck? Or someone who created impact, inspired others, and made the world a little better because you were here? Every skill you learn, every person you help, every problem you solve, it's a brick in the foundation of your legacy. And a legacy is not built in one big moment, it is built in 1,000 small intentional actions over time. You must decide today that you will not wait for the world to change before you act. You must decide that you will be the one to adapt first, to learn first, to lead first. The truth is, the future is not a place you are going to. It's a place you are creating. Every decision you make is shaping the path ahead. So don't just prepare for what's next, build it. You don't just adapt to the future, design it. And don't just survive in a changing world, lead in it. If you do that, then no matter what the economy looks like, no matter how fast technology moves, you will always have a place. You will always have value. And most importantly, you will always have the confidence that you are not chasing opportunities, you are creating them. That, my friend, is the true meaning of future-proofing your career.